My name is Josh. I'm from FitHive, gym management software, and this is Remy from Max Out Your Gym. And kind of give you a little background on us, me personally as well. Used to own 4 CrossFit gyms and built them up to a point where I got to sell them to an investment company. And I probably went through every coaching program that you could possibly think of through the last 8 years that of my career as a gym owner, right? And now I'm with FitHive. I handle all of the implementation, the onboarding, the sales of FitHive. And I've been talking to Remy and a lot of his clients, and Remy truly sets the bar high and probably has the best program out there. And with talking with him, I wanted to get him on here to do a webinar to tell you about his program, what the trends are for 2020, what he's seeing in 2021, and really give you some really solid nuggets that you can hopefully put 2020 behind us and really accelerate for 2021. So Remy, tell us about yourself, tell us about Max Out Your Gym, and how you can help gym owners.
Yeah, man. So yeah, Remy Mayer, founder at Max Out Your Gym. I think I started helping gym owners 3 or 4 years ago, and I started with a marketing agency. I was doing it for gym owners. I was setting up everything. But then I realized that some of my clients were really crushing it with my system, and some of my clients were actually not getting results, and some of my clients were just doing okay, right? They were just getting okay results. So I was like, okay, so what's the difference between those 3 kinds of gym owners? Because it's the same exact system that I have here. And then I realized that actually it was about the mindset skills, it was about the sales skills, and that it was not just about the lead generation, but everything else before actually generating a lead, right? And also everything else after generating a lead that was missing, right? And so then I started adding to it, and finally, at the end of the day, I stopped doing done for you marketing for gym owners, and now we have a program that really includes every single thing that gym owner would need in order to grow their gym, grow their business.
Awesome. It's a really exciting story, and you know that mindset coaching that we'll discuss today is one of the biggest determining factors, because at FitHive, you know, we have some marketing still, and we can fire hose a gym owner with a ton of leads,
Right.
and that's right out of the gate. But the problem is that you're solving is, what do they do with those leads when they get them, right? Are they taking care of them? So before we get into the system, tell me a little what you've seen in the trends of 2020 with gym owners.
Yeah, I think 2020 has been actually a good eye-opener, right? The ones that didn't really understood what they were actually selling struggled, right? Or they maybe closed their doors forever, unfortunately. But the ones that did realize what they were actually selling, some of my clients, they had their best year ever in 2020, right? So it's really about being clear on what you actually sell. So let's do the exercise, right? You're definitely not like an Anytime Fitness, LA Fitness, Snap. You know, you're not like that. It's not like you're a franchise gym where you only sell access to a facility with equipment in it, right? That's not what you do, right? You're not like Equinox either, you know, the luxurious kind of gyms with like, you know, nice bathroom and nice reception and those kind of nice equipments as well. That's not what you do either, right? You're not like a personal trainer online just selling information, right? Selling like an online course or selling a PDF. That's not what you do either. So you could tell me, okay, I know what it is, Remy. It's live classes that I sell. Well, actually, we could argue that in 2020, we realized that also online PTs can provide live classes. Actually, if you go on zoom.us, if you go on the Zoom website, you can find a bunch, you have a library of online personal trainers selling live classes, right? And also you can find like a bunch of other online PTs online selling live classes. You also have companies like Mir, you have companies like Tempo, those kind of smart home gym, right? They actually provide live classes every hour of every single day. They have a 3D sensor analyzing your movements, and the AI connected to an AI, and the AI will tell you how to correct your form, right? So you have a personal trainer looking at you, plus AI looking at you and providing feedback to you. Right? So we could argue, and you do that actually with barbells, right? Barbells and dumbbells. So we could argue that it's as good, or maybe even better, because it's every hour. There is a 3D sensor connected to AI. We can argue that it's as good or better, right? So it's not live classes either. So what is the one thing that actually micro gym owners do sell?
Right. That's what I was getting at, right? When you say these things, you kind of cut almost everything that a normal gym owner in 2020 thought was their product, right?
Right.
So I know I talked to Anthony, for example, one of your clients. He went from $14,000 to $30,000 a month over the course of March to, was it July? July,
March
right?
to July, yeah.
Which
In
is
more
right in
than
the middle of the
2x.
pandemic, right?
Yeah.
So if he wasn't selling those things, what was he actually selling?
What is the one thing that you can use so that you can differentiate yourself from the franchise gyms, differentiate yourself from the online PTs, differentiate yourself from the smart home gyms, but also differentiate yourself from the other functional training in town, right? What is the one thing that you have left so that you can really crush it, so that you can really thrive in 2021? So I believe that the one thing that changes all, the key thing, is accountability coaching / mindset coaching. This is super important. This is how you can actually really provide a great success rate. I heard recently that the average success rate at a micro gym, right? Not LA Fitness, not those big franchise gyms, but like a micro gym like yours. The average success rate is at 5%. I was like, what the heck, 5% only? Something is wrong with a 5% success rate. And so if you want to fix your success rate and go to a 50, 60, 70, 80, 90%, or even 95% success rate, you have to double down, triple down. In fact, you have to 10x on accountability coaching / mindset coaching. I think that mindset work is like exercising, right? You're exercising your muscle every day. Well, you should also exercise your mind every single day, and you're never ever done with it. It's not like you're gonna exercise your bicep for 6 weeks and then you're done. No, you're gonna do that for the rest of your life. Well, it's the same for your mindset, right? And everybody needs it. It's not like you can be like, all right, that's it. I did the mindset work, I'm done. No, even like very elite entrepreneurs are still doing mindset work. For instance, Tony Robbins is charging $1 million a year if you want his coaching, personal coaching, $1 million a year. What you get for that is that you get 30 minutes every 2 weeks. So it means it's 12 hours, right? If you do $1 million divided by 12 hours, that's more than 80K an hour. Tony Robbins is charging more than 80K, 83K an hour to provide life coaching, mindset coaching, right? And even very high level entrepreneurs are paying that fee because they understand that they need to work on their mindset, right? So it's something that it's the one thing that you can use to differentiate yourself, and this is the one thing that you should focus on so that you can really thrive in 2021, but also in the upcoming years.
And Remy, before we go through how people can implement the mindset and coaching, some of the answers here that we asked, right? the couple of them here that I just want to kind of dispel or kind of give my thoughts on. I know community was one of the answers, right? The
Yep.
scary part about that, and I kind of got into that same trap with my gyms, is I was like, oh, the community will take care of itself. Well, everybody in the micro gym space says that their community is the best. And when I sold my gyms, as soon as I sold them, the community went every which direction, right? All the same members were there, but they moved to different places. So you can't always bank on community. And, with Mirror, with Facebook, with Zoom, 2020 has really showed us that you could have a community anywhere,
Online, yeah.
right? So you don't always want to hang your hat on that. Having an excellent community, having an excellent culture is great, but the biggest thing is just don't always hang your hat on just that, right? The other one
Because
here.
it's
Go
true.
ahead.
It's true that maybe a community at your brick and mortar gym would be probably better than an online community. But, those are still communities, right? And a community without a great leader is not really working that well. In a community without like a mindset leader, you're going to have like different groups, with gossips happening. And if you don't give them the direction they need, sometimes the community is just not enough. And even let's assume that you have a great community. Well, the other CrossFit gym in town has also a great community, probably like the 10 other maybe functional training gyms in town, right? So yes, community is good so that at least you can differentiate yourself from the LA Fitness, the Anytime, and and those kind of gyms. But now, how do you differentiate yourself from the other micro gyms? No, community is not enough. It's
Right.
I believe accountability mindset. Yeah.
Yeah. Every one of the new prospects that would come into my gym, they would be like, oh, well, the other place has a great community. It's almost the same pitch to every micro
Right.
gym. Is I've got a great community with great programming, and I have great equipment, right? Well, that prospect will go to the next website and go to the next micro gym, and they're going to say,
Exactly.
great community, great programming. And then what does that actually mean? The other thing here is application. Application is a big thing, but this kind of goes along with get a manager to do my job, right? You can hire a manager to apply anything that you give them, right? But if you're not really focusing in on something different than everybody else in the marketplace, then application is not going to be as the biggest determining factor, right? So
Right.
tell us a little bit about the mindset and the 360 method that you apply to gym owners.
So I'm sure there are a bunch of CrossFit gym owners here on this webinar. And what I see very often is that CrossFit gym owners, they kind of like forget that pyramid. What is at the bottom of the pyramid? It's nutrition. And then you have Metcon, right? And then later on, you have like, you have Olympic weightlifting, you have gymnastic, and then you have the sport. And what I see is that actually CrossFit gym owners, they would really focus on like the sport. And in their marketing, this is what they're gonna show. They're gonna show the muscle ups. They're gonna show the tire flipping. They're gonna show the impressive stuff. Actually, that's daunting when you show that to prospects, right? If you want to attract 95% of your population, you shouldn't use what I call elite marketing, where you would only try to actually attract elite people. Elite people, it's less than 5%, right? And if you have 10 other functional training gyms in your town, you just don't have enough elite people in town to grow your gym. So you actually need to find a way to attract the 95% other, right? And how do you attract those 95% other? By actually focusing on nutrition and Metcon, what's at the bottom of the CrossFit pyramid, right? But I would say that, actually nutrition coaching, if they do the paleo diet, or if they do the zone diet, or if they do whatever kind of whole food diet, it's good. actually it's not really about the information on nutrition. They can find that information online already. They can have a free meal plan online. It's not about the information. It's about actually keeping them accountable so that they actually do it. Because at the end of the day, everyone knows that they should what? Eat healthy, rest, and exercise, right? Yet only 6% of people are actually doing that. Only 6% of people are doing those three things properly, right? So what's the issue? It's not a lack of information. We have all the information we need on Google. It's actually having the support and the mindset help, right? And the accountability coaching that goes with it, so that you actually execute on those strategies.
No, so to better understand that, so the people that they're attending, because I recognize some of these names, right? The same thing would go with personal training studios, with boot camps, right?
Yes.
If in terms of marketing, right? And it's not just the marketing, but it's also the brand that you're putting out there, like on social media and the before and afters. What if I can't post the 400-pound deadlift or the super fit female or male that is kind of like the elite in personal training or at the beach? If I can't really post those things because I'm not attracting the proper client, what should they be posting, or how should they kind of present that brand to get the proper client?
So it's not about the PRs, Oh, Sally just hit a new PR on deadlifting. Actually, it's intimidating if you show that to prospects. It's more about the body transformations, and more than that, the life transformation. How did Sally change her life? Because maybe Sally, well, she was overweight, and maybe she was lacking confidence, and maybe also she wants to improve her career, and she has a husband and 2 kids. But because she's not confident, maybe intimacy hasn't been great for the last 2 years with the husband, right? Maybe she cannot move forward with her career because she could already become a manager, yet she's not becoming a manager because, well, every afternoon after the lunch break, she just crashes and she's not productive in the afternoon, right? And so she's like in hell, kind of, right? Because maybe what would be the future consequences of that in the future? Well, not moving forward with her career, not making, let's say, an extra 50K a year, but also getting fired, and also maybe having the husband breaking up while they have a 4-year-old daughter and a 2-year-old son, right? That would be the consequences in the future, maybe next 6 months, next year, or next 2 years. And also maybe there is more, maybe she has diabetes. So it's more about like sharing those stories than it is about actually showing the PRs.
And kind of thinking through that, right? A couple of things that come to mind, and to kind of bring out, if this person is having multiple consultations, either via Zoom or phone call or in person, right? Could you imagine when you actually ask those type of questions instead of what is your fitness history, right? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to, gain muscle, the normal stuff? But when you start deep diving into somebody's mindset in that way, like imagine if you built the rapport with that prospect enough that you could literally ask them some of those questions, right? Like you're saying there, letting them tell the story for branding and social media purposes is going to be huge beyond just the lose 20 pounds, right? You see those
Right.
ads all the time. Hey,
Right.
I lost 20 pounds in 90 days. That's great. And they're starting to flood the market and not work as well. But if somebody, like you said there, hey, I joined, this gym, they did help me lose 20 pounds, but more importantly, my confidence is through the roof. I got that promotion because I actually asked for it because of that confidence. And then that same person is willing to pay, for those results, right? You're no
Right.
longer a commodity. But
Exactly. The goal basically in your marketing is to share the results in terms of body transformation, life transformation, to show also the fun that you provide while they are getting those results. Because if you have like an army boot camp where they get results but they are not having fun, they're not gonna stay very long, right? And where also you show your care as the gym owner, you show your love, right? If you can show those three things, you're going to have a very powerful marketing. Then once they become a lead, you just need to have like a consultation with them. You're going to actually sit down with them for a whole hour and just get to know them, get to know their life, get to know their struggles, get to know their goals, get to know what's going on, right? Get to know their hell, get to know their heaven. And then they're going to see the gap between hell and heaven. And then they're going to probably make the decision that they should bridge that gap and that they need your help to do that. So what's cool with that method is that we don't use a free 6-week challenge. We don't use free classes. We don't use free-week trials. We don't use discounts. We don't use promos. We don't use any incentives based on the price, a discount or something for free. The only thing that is free is like the first 1-hour consultation, and that's it. And then at the end, you just need to recommend what they actually need to change their body, change their lives. And oftentimes, actually, what they actually need is a membership for at least 6 months or 12 months. And it's a premium membership that would not just include the functional training, but also nutrition coaching and accountability mindset coaching.
And kind of take me through the process a little bit more. Prospect looks you up or finds something on social media, and do you recommend having gym owners have them fill out an application? How do you weed kind of those people out that just want a discounted membership or something for free, and the ones that really want to transform their life?
So actually, right away, we filter out the tire kickers and the freebie seekers because we are not advertising any discount or any free offer, right? We just say, come for a consultation, right? So right away, right from the bat, we actually filter out those people. Then we do have an application form just to see if they are actually really serious, right? And then we might use other strategies to like warm up the leads once they opt in. But actually, it's not like we have like a secret formula for that to filter out the best ideal clients. It's because we only use a free consultation as an offer, right? A free 1-hour consultation. Yep. And then we just do a good job. Once they show up for that consultation, we do a good job at sizing up people, because actually the goal of that consultation is to first protect your tribe, right? Protect your community. Because if you invite someone that is not going to be a good member, that doesn't have the right mindset, it's kind of like it's a virus, it's gonna like contaminate your tribe kind of. You need to first protect your tribe. Second, you need to protect your coaches and also protect yourself, because maybe you're going to spend a year or 2 or 3 or more with that new member, and you don't want your clients to give you headaches. You want ideal clients with the right mindset, that are coachable, that are committed, that are decisive, that are resourceful. You're looking for certain qualities, right? Certain traits. And also the third reason for sizing them up, right, is that it's actually reassuring. Let's say, you have a chat, with someone, and you're like, yep, you're the right fit. It's $150 a month for the membership. When you said that, the prospect is going to be like, how do you know I'm the right fit? Like, you didn't check, like, why am I the right fit? Like, I don't believe that I can actually do that CrossFit thing. I don't believe that I can actually do that personal training thing. I never did it. I didn't work out in the last 10 years. Last time I worked out, it was at college. And actually I was not doing much really, like in the last 10 years, I was just on my couch. Actually, they don't believe that they can do it. If you can answer that question, will it work for me? Then it's very reassuring. And to answer that question, will it work for me? Well, you have to check and check and check and check and check and check. You check for basically 50 minutes out of the 1 hour consultation. And then at the end, you're like, well, because I checked and I checked on this, on this, on this, on this, on this, on this, then I believe that you're the perfect fit for this program and that you are going to reach your goals with this program. And then it's like, oh, cool. Now it's like, it's reassuring. It's not like you're just trying to steal their money out of their wallet. You actually checked if they would get the results. And now, even if it's a high ticket price for your membership, right? Even if your membership is at $200, $300, $400, $500 a month, it doesn't really matter because they will get the results. Now you're selling the transformation, the outcome, the results, right? You're not just selling 3 times a week at the gym, 4 times a week at the gym, 5 times a week at the gym, unlimited at the gym. Now you're selling the life transformation. And because that life transformation is priceless, whatever price you're going to tell them is going to be a freaking bargain compared to a priceless transformation.
And I think what you're, as you go through this, a couple of things that come to mind, just looking at my past experience, is building that emotional connection. And like you said, protecting your tribe. I think that consultation that you teach gym owners, and every gym owner should be doing at this point, is more about not only a consultation for the prospect, but also a consultation for the gym owner, finding out if this person is actually a good fit. And that entire time on the sales side of things, you're finding nuggets of emotional response that you can use to prove that your system will help them actually get the results and actually gets the transformation. Yep. Because then the key to it, with, and this is just from my experience, you've got to root that emotion with logical explanation, right? And that's where the kind of a value stack can come into play. Like you said there, if I just said 3 times a week, 4 times a week, great, come and work out. They're like, oh, well, I can pay $10 a month for Apple to work out 2 or 3 times a week, right?
Apple Fitness, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. But if it's, hey, I'm going to give you the fitness, I'm going to give you the nutrition, and at the end of the day, you can look that stuff up, but I'm going to hold you accountable to it. But then I'm going to find the root of what mentally is going on that's been holding you back all this time, right?
Exactly.
That's where the value's at.
Because if you start speaking about, oh, it's 3 times a week, right? So therefore, they're going to calculate the number of workouts they're going to have that month. They're going to take the price divided by the number of workouts and then calculate a price per workout. You don't want them to do that kind of math. Actually, you want them to be like, wow, I only need to come once a week at the gym to get transformational results. If you can actually sell the efficiency, you only need to come 2 times a week, 3 times a week. I would recommend actually maximum 3 times a week because it's enough to give them awesome results. And then maybe they have another workout during the weekend. Maybe they can go cycling during the weekend with their kids. You know what I mean? Maybe 4 workouts in a week, 3 with you, and 1 outdoors with their family, right? Yeah, I would recommend that you sell the efficiency because the efficiency is sexy. If you tell them you only need to work out 1.5 hours per week, it's sexy. If you tell them you will need to come every single day to actually finally change your body and change your life, they're going to be, I don't want to do it, Yeah.
And as we talk about this, I think, right, gym owners can hear this, and myself included, right? The first thing I thought about when I started selling, $500 packages, $1,500 packages, the first thing I had to get through my head is, where's my value? As the gym owner, where does that value lie? And as we go through this, and we'll talk more about the business owner's mindset, but if you just look at it on paper, right? my average membership and a lot of gym owner, micro gyms owner memberships are $100 to $150 a month, right? And if you take a couple, that's $300 a month. But then they're usually not getting nutrition. They're not really being held accountable because they're just coming whenever they want. And then they go looking for a nutrition person. And then all of a sudden they're paying a nutrition person $120, $150 a month. And then all of a sudden when they look at it overall, they're already spending $600 a month and not even really getting accountability. And then sometimes the nutrition coach and the fitness coach don't really jive.
Right.
And the key to it is, don't just think as a business owner or a gym owner or a coach that I'm selling a $500 workout program. I'm truly selling the true package. So kind of
Right.
walk me through what you would recommend for gym owners and kind of the mindset coaching that you would recommend to them or give them, not just with Max Out Your Gym, but in general, like especially going to 2021, everybody's worried. And I talk to gym owners every day, and 15 to 20 a week, and they're all afraid to go upstream in price, right? They're all trying to go downstream because it's a crazy world out there right now.
Yeah, but then it's a race to the bottom, and you're not gonna win that game, right? If you're trying to like decrease your pricing, you're not gonna win that game. You're always gonna have someone that is going to charge lower than you do, right? So I would recommend that you actually focus on the success rate and that you keep your price, or that you actually increase your price, right? Because now you sell the transformation, and you know what? Paying $30 a month to not get any kind of results, to not even go to a LA Fitness gym, there is like no ROI, return on investment here. ROI is zero. But if you have a $250 membership and they completely change their lives, right? Better energy, like better intimacy. Let's say if we take that example we took earlier, like a better career, $250 a month for awesome transformation. It's amazing ROI, and so you need to realize that first, right? And so, yeah, the difference between a low success rate and a high success rate, so that you can start selling the transformation, is the accountability / mindset coaching. I do mention mindset coaching because I believe that accountability coaching on its own is just not enough. Accountability coaching on its own is actually more annoying than anything else. Accountability coaching is going to actually hurt you more than is going to help you. Let's take a few examples, and I think that Josh, you have a story about this you can share. Let's say you do a burpee penalty if someone doesn't show up, or if someone is late, right? Sure, that day they're going to do the burpee penalty, but also it's public shaming. And so you are like, yeah, good. I kept that guy accountable. He had his burpee penalty, and so that's it. Now I'm handling the accountability coaching. Well, actually, that guy, because he didn't appreciate that moment, will probably actually cancel his membership, right? Let's say you're like, oh, let me look at my Wodify. You look at your screen, you look at your Wodify, and you're like, okay, attendance. Okay, those guys didn't show up. I'm just gonna take my phone. Okay, I send them a message. Oh, you didn't show up. Show up again. Or actually, you do it with your with an automation. Let's say you connect your Wodify to Zapier, or you have an automated system, and you just press the button, and that's it. You send 12 text messages to 12 members that didn't show up in the last 10 days. And you're like, that's it. I figured out accountability. Well, actually, what's going to happen is that when they're going to press that button, people are going to receive that text, and they're going to be like, oh, yeah, fuck, yeah, I didn't show up in 10 days. I'm just wasting my money here. You know what? Let me go ahead and cancel.
The right? Crazy story on that, and what Remy was talking about, and it was like an epiphany when you said that today, right? That little nugget that could have changed my retention rate with the gyms. And we always had an accountability text message that would automatically go out, or my GM would automatically send it every 15 days. If somebody didn't show up within 15 days, we would let them know. And we were thinking, man, we're holding these people accountable because we're at least letting them know that they haven't been here for 15 days and they need to come back in. And my GM one day pulled me aside and he's like, dude, I know exactly when that message goes out because the average cancellation policy that comes through or form that they fill out to cancel goes up 3 to 4-fold when that message goes out. And talking with you, the one thing that you told me, and this is a big thing for the big difference between accountability and mindset that you told me today, is instead of sending out that message saying, you haven't been here for 15 days, what's going, come back in. It's, hey, I'm worried about you, or, hey, is anything going on? How can I help you, reach your goals, or whatever that, whatever that wording is. But it's more getting to the root of why they haven't showed up.
Exactly.
In terms of mindset, opposed to, hey, you haven't showed up, come on in. Takes a little bit more work to figure out that mindset question that you can send to people. On the flip side of it, as you're kind of going through it, if you're charging a little bit more, that $250, $300 a month, and you're getting a much more personal accountability and mindset coaching with that client, now instead of sending out a canned message, it can be like, hey, is there anything going on with your family? Is there anything going on with your job? How can I help? And then they're like, oh, they're no longer just a coach, right? They're my mindset coach. They're my partner in life almost.
Exactly. And this is the one thing that you actually sell as a micro gym owner. When they are not really following through because whatever is happening in their life at that specific moment. Let's take another example. Let's say Sally, she's trying to lose weight. You're helping her with her nutrition. And she's not really logging in, her macros and what she ate and her calories. You're trying to track that, but she's not really doing it. And she's saying, yeah, it's good. Don't worry. I'm following the nutrition program. Actually, you're going to pick up on it that actually it's not going that well, right? And you're going to ask questions, the right questions at the right time, coming from a caring and non-judgmental place, right? And then you're actually going to realize that, well, she just broke up with the boyfriend. And so for her right now, it's really hard to eat the vegetables with chicken. And it's very easy to eat that donut. Not because she doesn't know what to do. She has your meal plan, but because she's just not in the right headspace, right? So your goal is to help her navigate that. So we're not asking you to become their therapist. You're not their psychologist. It's not like they're going to lay down on a sofa and you're going to listen to them and take notes and try to work on their childhood wounds, right? That's not what we want you to do, but some kind of like habit coaching, because they have bad habits. The goal is to not just remove those bad habits. It's not really possible actually to just cancel out, bad habits. You have to replace them with new healthy habits. Because when you have a bad habit, basically it's like a coping mechanism. Well, Sally would eat that donut. It's a way to cope, with stress, right? To feel better. Let's say you have a guy drinking beers when he comes back from work, right? Each and every day he cracks a beer or 2 or 3 or 4, every evening. What is it? It's actually a way to cope with stress, right? Because he's not reaching his goals, because he's not living his purpose. And so he drinks those beers, and that's the bad habit. Now, it's not like as their coach, as their health and fitness coach, you can say to that guy, hey man, stop drinking beers. It's just not gonna do it, right? You're not gonna work on his childhood wounds either, right? You're not a psychologist, but you can recommend, for instance, well, come to the gym and come destroy the punching bag that we have at the gym and get rid of that bad energy, get rid of that stress. Destroy your boss on the punching bag, or destroy whoever you have to destroy so that you get that energy out, right? So it's more about like habit coaching than it is about becoming their therapist. Now, if by diving in a bit, you find out that they have deeper issues, then you can steer them, to like a psychologist. If you realize that actually, they need to do the work, the therapy work, you can steer them in the right direction. But oftentimes you don't need to do that. It's just about habit coaching, basically.
And, with some of those habits, with Fit Hive, you can track those habits, you can track programming, you can track accountability, you can help automate a lot of those things. But understanding how to use the systems, right? And I talk about this with all the gym owners. And again, one of the reasons why I wanted to get you on here is systems will get you so far, right?
Yes.
But you got to know how to use those systems appropriately and effectively to give your clients results, not just apply what you're recommending to them, right? You got to give them results, and how, to specifically do that. And that's where the kind of the mindset coaching and accountability and habit forming comes into play.
Yeah, I love systems. I love automated systems. I love automation. But it's not because you automate your business, then that's it, you're good, and you should go play the PlayStation because that's it. You're like, oh, I figured out my business. Everything is automated. No, it's like you use those systems, this automation, so that now you have more time to provide that one-on-one care, that one-on-one intimacy that people actually need to change their body, change their lives, change their health.
Here's one of the biggest things that, I really like about you and Max Out Your Gym is what we're preaching to our clients, you're preaching to your clients, right? It's the mindset. It's the accountability. That's where Max Out Your Gym comes into play. Because again, we can tell you the systems and how to apply it. And, you can sign up with Fit Hive, which would be awesome. But if I just give you that stuff, who's going to hold you accountable to use those things and use them correctly?
Exactly.
So tell me a little bit about, I guess, Max Out Your Gym and kind of where your thought process when a gym owner comes in, because I understand, and you can clarify it, that you don't worry about leads right out of the gate like some of these other gyms, business coaches out there. Leads are kind of towards the end of the program almost, right? So
yeah.
tell me a little bit of what you're thinking there and why.
Yeah, so we have a 12-step process basically when we work with gym owners over 3 months. And actually we start working on advertising at step number 9. So it's not like we have like a magic formula on how to generate the right kind of leads. It's not like we found the perfect Facebook and Instagram and YouTube algorithm to target the ideal clients. It's because, well, we do the work before the lead generation so that you're actually ready to generate leads and have a very high conversion rate, so that you have a very high scheduling rate, a very high show-up rate, a very high enrollment rate, and also a very high retention rate. It's because we do all the work before that actually the system works so well, and that on average we can convert 40% of your leads. Actually, with like other systems out there, it's like 7, 8, 9% of the leads that you can convert. So we can do 4 times more. Well, because we really take the time to be ready before the lead generation, before the client acquisition, and that's how we optimize it. Yeah.
And so you're taking the same approach that gym owners need to take with their clients, with your clients, right? Working on the mindset first, building them up, finding the root cause. I talk to gym owners again every week, and I always recommend, like, you got to go up in price. I talked to a gym owner today, actually. He was unlimited classes. He said he's going to hold them accountable. He's going to have a great community. And I said, well, what are you going to charge for that a month? Because he's got a small facility. He's like, I'm going to start out selling it for $89 a month. I was like, whoa, like you'll never be able to hit the revenue goals that you need to hit, let alone the profitability. And he's like, well, that's, I've got this. I don't know if I'm worth it. I'm like, you've got to be in the mindset, I am worth it. A doctor's not going to discount it down, right? I can do a heart surgery for 1.5 million, or they're not going to just all of a sudden say, well, you know what? I'm not worth it to do your heart surgery and give it to you for 500,000, right? They're going to say, nope, if you want me to save your life, this is what it's going to cost. And that's where that first mindset comes into play.
Yeah, you're not selling Band-Aids, you're selling the surgery, right? Just to take your example, you're selling the actual surgery. You're selling the full-on program so that they change their body, change their lives. You don't just give a Band-Aid that is gonna kind of help, right? This is for LA Fitness. So usually it's more about the fears around the thing than it is about the thing itself. Let me give you an example. It's not about Facebook advertising or YouTube advertising or Instagram advertising. For that, I can record a video and I'm gonna be like, okay, click here, click here, click here, click here, click here, click here, click here. Done. That's it. Your Facebook ad is set up. Actually, setting up your Facebook ad is pretty easy. You just need to click, a few times and you're done. But maybe you are afraid of advertising. You're gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna waste my money. It's gonna just gonna be a waste of money. Oh, I'm just gonna have a bunch of freebie seekers, tire kickers. Oh, I'm afraid of that. Or maybe you're not even going to record that video that you need to generate those leads, right? If let's say you do a video ad, because you have a fear of public speaking, which is actually the number one fear in the US, actually before the fear of death. Right. So if you're afraid of like recording that, looking at the camera and just speaking to the camera, if you're afraid of that, well, it's not gonna work. Right. So it's more about the fears around the thing than the thing itself. And we can say that for your clients, it's the same. It's not about really deadlifting, but maybe it's about the fear of looking ridiculous in front of everyone else, because actually the barbell is empty. Public shaming, kind of. It could be that fear. Or it could be the fear of, oh, I'm gonna injure my back. Or just fears around deadlifting, while actually deadlifting can be very safe and it's okay. They're not gonna be ridiculous in front of everybody. Those fears are just fake, right? They are not real. They do not exist, but they still have those fears, right? So we coach our gym owner clients on their fears, right? And we help them push through it. And then we show you how to do the same with your own clients.
It's crazy that you use that analogy. My wife is a nurse and she's on the ICU floor, saving lives every day. And I told her that I was going to do this call, this webinar with about 68 gym owners that I don't know. And she's like, oh, I couldn't do that. She's like, are you nervous? I was like, no, it'll be okay. Right. But you're right. It's finding those fears. And sometimes, and we'll get to the questions, because one of the questions actually leads into that, is just like the client or the athlete needs a coach to hold them accountable and work on that mindset and uncover those fears and figure that stuff out. Gym owners need the same thing. Entrepreneurs need the same thing. Like you said, Tony Robbins wouldn't be charging $1 million a year if people weren't buying it. Right. It's because of the value, but it's the value that comes into play.
Mark, one of our team members at Max Arthur Gym, is a CrossFit gym owner in Texas, and he had a member for 3 years. And that guy was actually not really getting results. He was training, at least 3 times a week, but not really moving forward in terms of health and fitness and, reaching his life goals. And so at some point, Mark was like, okay, man, let's have a chat. And so then he took him as like a health coaching client. Basically, it means adding mindset and accountability coaching to it. And then in 3 months, the guy reached his goals in just 3 months, while he has been a member at the CrossFit gym for 3 years, right? So it's not like he needed to work out more to go from 3 workouts a week to 4 or 5 workouts a week. He actually needed the breakthroughs, the aha moments, the epiphanies, right? That's what he actually needed to change his body, his health, his life.
And you're right. We all know it, right? As coaches, the problem is I don't think we do it or implement it. We all know at the root of it, it's all about mindset, right? Getting any goal as an entrepreneur, as a gym owner, as an athlete, finances, anything, you got to get your mind right before you can actually hit the goal. And if your mind is right, it's a heck of a lot easier. I mean, that's why professional athletes spend so much money on, mindset coaches. It's like, if I get my mind right, everything else will come a lot easier. So getting into the nitty gritty, Patel asks, who executes the mindset coaching when you recommend them implementing it?
We actually show you how to do the mindset coaching. We actually have like a full module on this within our program. So we show you how to do it. Then you can either find a coach that has good people skills, or you can do it yourself, or you can like find someone that would not be necessarily a coach. That person doesn't have to be a CrossFit level 1 or CrossFit level 2. You don't need those kind of certifications. Doesn't have to be a nutrition coach either. Just someone that has good people skills. Then we can show that person how to actually coach people on their mindset, and then you're gonna be ready to go with your mindset coaching. Basically, what we recommend is to have like a check-in, at least at the beginning, once a week, a check-in where maybe you ask them to jump on a body composition analyzer, but also you just take 15, 20, 30 minutes with them every week, at least at the beginning, to just talk things, right? And then later on, it might not be every week, but every 2 weeks or every month. It depends about the membership that you're gonna sell. But you just need to check in with them and just have those conversations.
And
I would not recommend actually. I would not actually recommend to have the gym owner doing it. As the gym owner, you want to focus on marketing, sales, systems, right? You want to focus on building your team, building your brand. You want to work, on the business and not too much in it. So I would recommend that you either delegate that to one of your coaches that has good people skills, or that you hire someone new to fulfill this position.
And as you go through this process, it's all going to depend on your goals, right? As a gym owner, it's going to depend on where your gym is currently. What does that step up process look like? I know some gym owners that I talk to may say, well, I can't hire an accountability coach right now because I still got to pay my bills, right? Well, now you got to be held accountable to start building to that point and figure out the mindset of, instead of scarcity, where can I find and increase my prices, and what's the goal I need to get to so I can hire that person to come on board, right? It's all kind of dependent upon that. And that's where a coach is going to come into play. So I got another one from Bryant, if I pronounce that correctly. So before the pandemic, he was holding class sizes of 125 people. It's a pretty big class. Afterwards, did very well with virtual. But over the last few months, people are burnt out on Zoom. Any advice?
Yeah, I believe that live classes are just not enough anymore. And it's cool. They have the community. You're here to probably correct their form. You're here to motivate them during the live class, right? But what if that day they were not motivated to actually show up to that live class? Right. And also that day they were not motivated to follow the nutrition plan that you have for them. Right. So it's more about like inspiring them, motivating them than it is about just the live class. Right. I would recommend that. Yeah, you would focus more on that mindset coaching. Because otherwise, they're gonna lose motivation, and also they're gonna probably find another place where they can get those live classes, the same kind of Zoom live classes for cheaper.
Right? Yeah, it's kind of, if a gym owner, especially before the pandemic, was doing the mindset coaching, and this could be the case if you're not doing that mindset and accountability coaching, when those people start to fall off or say that they're burnt out, everybody in the fitness industry, every athlete, professional sports, you can talk to them. it ends up being a grind to hit your goals, right? But if you were doing that mindset coaching and you had those nuggets of why they actually started in the first place, when those people start to get burnt out, you, instead of saying, hey, I haven't seen you in the Zoom class the last 3 days, it's, hey, how can I help you? Quick personal story. I started doing CrossFit 8 years ago because I was running around with my 3-year-old at the time, and I was so out of breath after 10 minutes, I had to go inside and I couldn't help him. I was like, you know what? I'm not working out to get abs. I'm working out to play with my kids. And
Right.
now that I think about it, I actually mentioned that to the CrossFit coach, and he would actually say that in the middle of the most brutal workouts when I wanted to give up. He'd say, what eyes are watching? Or not, hey, go faster, go harder. It's, hey, don't forget about your kids. Or, hey, what about this? Same thing with that. As people get burnt out, what's their why? Why did they actually start in the first place?
Yeah.
And starting the consultations that way will definitely help.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, with the consultation we are talking about, right? A 1 hour consultation to find out the truth and the consequences of the truth if they don't make a change. When you use that model, then it's gonna also help you right away with your retention, right? Because you have that 1 hour consultation where you get to know them on a deeper level. That's it. Now you have a special connection with them, and right from the bat, you optimize your retention already, because what they're going to share with you during that first hour, you're going to be able to use it again later on when you have those mindset sessions with them.
Awesome. So Darren, how do you overcome the confidence and the mindset of being worth your charge rate?
Well, that's why we have 8 other steps before step number 9, where we work on the marketing, where we actually improve the services, the value of your services, your delivery. And it's by working on your delivery, basically, and on realizing that you're worth a lot. In fact, I would say that your worth is as good as doctors. Or I would even say that it's even higher than doctors, 100%. Right? Doctors are just here to treat the symptoms, treat the chronic diseases. You're here to freaking prevent them,
and
right?
Improve, prevent, and improve.
And prevent and improve, right? Energy levels and them reaching their life dreams. Well, doctor, they don't do that. They just give you a pill and that's it. Then you get better, but with other symptoms. They're not helping you really get to your full potential, right? So I would say that you're worth a lot. I think that you have a huge role to play in fighting chronic diseases. It's not doctors that are going to do that on their own. I think that you need to see yourself more like a health and fitness body transformation center, more than just another functional training gym or another PT studio. See yourself as someone that provides transformation, and then you're going to have the confidence to charge more because you can back it up with great nutrition coaching, but also with great accountability coaching, and also with great mindset coaching.
Right. And piggyback off of that, right? The number one thing that you've got to kind of change your mindset, or one of the things that I would recommend, like he said there, you are selling a transformation and you're selling results to this much deeper rooted mindset issue that they're having, that they've already told you, right? You're not just providing a workout, because we all know it. Unfortunately, workouts and a diet plan are a dime a dozen on Google right now, right? So if you think that's all you're providing, you've got to change that mindset. No, I'm providing a transformation. I'm literally saving this person's life, this person's marriage. Coming back to the heart surgeon, if I walked in and he said it's gonna, your deductibles, or after it's all said and done, after insurance pays for it, you're gonna have to pay $80,000 over the rest of your life, right? I'm not gonna say, nope, don't do my heart surgery, right? I'm going to say, yep, I'll figure out how to pay it. Same kind of thought process there. You got to really think, I'm going to provide it. But then at the end of the day, you've actually got to provide it, right?
Exactly.
And that's where charging more, you can't provide that at $80, $89 a month. Like,
yep.
You can't have enough people, right? So you got to realize, if I'm truly going to back up what I'm telling this person I'm going to do for them, I'm going to hold you accountable, give you the mindset. I'm going to give you the results that you haven't reached before, but it's going to cost you $300, $400, $500 a month. But I'm going to get you there, unlike the $10 a month Planet Fitness memberships, right? Darren, I hope that helps there.
Let's do some math here. I'm just gonna like illustrate that. Let's say that it's a guy that has like a lot of weight, a lot of fat to lose, right? Not confident in his body. No girlfriend because he's not confident. He has been single for the last 5 years. No confidence to speak to anyone, actually. Career is not good. Let's say that this guy goes to Taco Bell and to Burger King every single day and Starbucks. It's probably $40, maybe $50 a day. If you get your coffee at Starbucks with a donut, and then you go to Taco Bell for lunch, and then you go to Burger King for dinner, we can say it's $50 a day, easy, right? Then probably this guy, has back pain, we can say, right? Maybe he needs to, take pills so that his back doesn't hurt so much. Let's add another $100 a month here, right? Let's say this guy has diabetes. He's injecting insulin. I don't really know how much that costs, but let's say it's another $100 a month, right? Let's say that this guy, because he's not able to speak to women, actually has a porn addiction, right? And is paying for a website subscription fee. It's $50 a month, right? Let's say that also this guy, when he comes back from work, drinks 4 beers a day, right? 4 beers at $5, right? That's $20 a day. And also that this guy is supposed to actually become a manager because he's already 36 years old, and at this age he should be a manager at his company, but he's not because energy levels just suck. And so he's missing here on an extra $10K a year. If I do the 50 day for $50 a day for the fast food, 50 times 365, that's 18K. Plus the 100 for the back pain, 100 times 12, that's 1.2K. Right? Plus the 1K for the insulin, plus 50 times 12 for his porn addiction, that's 0.6, plus the alcohol, so that's $20 per day, times the 365, that's 7.3K, plus the 10K is missing on his career, that's another 10K. So now I'm gonna do the 18 for the fast food, plus the 1.2 for the back pain, plus the 1 for the insulin, plus the 0.6 for the porn, plus the 7.3 for the alcohol, plus the 10K for his career, we are at 38K. You charge 2K or 3 or 4, even if you have like a very premium membership. Let's say it's 300 a month, right? Times 12, that's 3.6. It's only 3.6K for him to find the love of his life, for him to crush it with his career, for him to reach his personal goals, for him to live his full potential. It's only 3.6K a year, while he's spending 38K on shitty things, right? So what you sell is a freaking bargain compared to what they're already spending for this guy to reach his goal.
Right. And coming back to your question, Darren, and we'll get to the next one, but Darren, think about what Remy just went through in that thought process. Not only can you think about in the back of your mind that that's the way, but in terms of the mindset of the coach, asking those questions, right? You got to have the confidence and the rapport and the soft skills and do the training and the trial and error. I know it took me a long time to start deep diving in some of those questions to just build the confidence. Like, hey, I'm getting ready to ask this lady or guy that I've only seen for 10 minutes, you know, if they have a porn addiction because they said something that made me think of it, right? That's a pretty tough conversation to have. And it's going to be real awkward, but you know what? They're never going to forget it. They're going to be like, you know what? This person gets me, right? That $150 an hour psychologist that they pay every week, there's a reason why they're willing to keep paying that, because this person's willing to ask those questions. Now, do you go
Exactly.
after this and post on social media that this person signed up because
Of course
all
not.
Of course not, right? But
of course not.
building that confidence and understanding how to ask those questions artfully without that's the key to it, right? Artfully asking these questions without going, you know, understanding that rapport building and understand how to build those questions.
You for sure need rapport to ask those questions, and also you need to frame it, you know, with like with caring, non-judgmental frames, so that they understand that you're only asking coming from a place of love, not to like pour salt on their wounds, but because you actually care and because you already love them enough to freaking ask the questions.
And actually want to help them this time around.
Exactly.
So I got another one here. What does a gym charge for this? Say a gym membership is $200 a month. Is this an add-on or separate, or what do you recommend when gym owners start to implement this process?
So when they start implementing this process, basically what I would recommend is that they just have their first 1 hour consultation with their current members. And usually here, they can upsell a third, half of their current members already or more, right? Because already the current members, they need more help right now. They need nutrition help. They need accountability coaching. They need mindset coaching. And so already right away, you can add an extra 5, 10K recurring just by upselling your current members. You just tell them, hey, I just want to like check in. I just want to recap, you know, what happened in 2020. Let's just sit down and let's just chat. You do that not because you absolutely want to upsell them, but because it's just a nice thing to do to get to know your members, right? And it's just nice to do it. And also, even if you don't upsell them, it's going to help you with your retention anyway.
So an interesting stat when you said that, I know you probably didn't mean to do it, but as I talk to the 15 to 20 gym owners a week, on average, what most of them tell me that they lost during the pandemic is 1/4 to 1/3 of their membership base. So if you can take this mindset coaching and sit down with the remaining members, you're going to help retain them, especially if you're on lockdown even longer or get locked down again, right? If you've already implemented this process and this consultation and started upselling these people into something that, frankly, you know, it's a lot of people are really depressed out there, and building that mindset into it, it can save somebody's life, right? And then think about how many of your current gym members that are the 1 hour that they're at your gym is the best, literally the best hour of the day, because they might go home by themselves and have nothing. But now you're saying, hey, let's dig deeper into this. So start with your current members, like you said there, and then start. Would you recommend after they start with their members to just only sell that going forward? Do you think it should be an add-on after the fact for somebody new, or just for the existing members?
Let's say you have Sally coming in, right? Or that guy, fast food, back pain, porn addiction, alcohol addiction. This guy coming in. You're going to actually probably recommend the membership, 6 months membership, 12 months membership, that is going to include mindset and accountability coaching and also nutrition coaching to that guy, right? But now, you have a CrossFitter that did CrossFit in the last 8 years. He was just doing it in New York, and you're in Texas, and he had to move because of his job. Well, this guy maybe has like nice abs, he's doing already crushing it with his body fat percentage, killer mindset. That guy, sure, you're just gonna sell the functional training only. You can have like, I would recommend 3 tiers. The functional training only, right? then functional training with nutrition coaching, with mindset accountability coaching, and then like a platinum program where you could add whatever else you want to add so that you help your clients even more. Some of my clients, they help with recovery. Some of my clients, they help with stress management, with breath work. Some of my clients, they also do yoga. Some of my clients, they do cryotherapy for recovery. Whatever else you want to add to have like a ultimate premium program. But usually 90% of your prospect, they will need that program in the middle, right? Functional training, nutrition, mindset coaching. And then 5% will just need the functional training membership.
It's that good, better, or best. Studies have shown that people will typically pick the middle one regardless, right? And if they take the best one, then high five, let's go, right? So I love this question. How does F45 gyms go from 0 to 150 members in 3 months? Is it just good branding or a lot of cold calling in the background? They're able to retain people for $60 per week doing pseudo type training. I have my opinion on it, but let's hear yours, Remy.
Yeah, I think it's true that they do have a brand. It's what, $60 a month, right?
Per week.
They have good branding.
Roughly.
I think that they also have good systems, right? They know how to advertise. So I don't think that they are very, very efficient. They might spend a lot on advertising. They might waste a lot of leads. I did, I tried F45. I tried Orange Theory. I tried them all, right? I know how it works. It's not like they really take the time to get to know you. For them, you're just one more member. They don't really try to know you, but at least they have good systems. They understand business, right? Actually, I have a friend here. He's a successful lawyer and investor. He's rich, right? We can say he's rich. And one day I was by the pool, just chatting with him, sipping on a coconut. And he's like, oh yeah, by the way, I own 3 F45 gyms. I'm like, what? I didn't know that about you. You own 3 F45 gyms? Yeah. But for him, it's just like, it's an investment. It's like, oh, I'm going to invest in stocks and options. I'm going to invest in Bitcoin. I'm going to invest in real estate. And I'm going to have 3 F45 gyms, right? What's good with those franchises is that at least you buy systems. That's what you get. You buy systems. And so at least they have a certain system. They have a scheduling system. They know how to schedule the leads, how to make them show up, right? There is a certain process. I don't think it's the best process, the most efficient and optimized process, but at least they have one. I think that's how they do it. But you can definitely do better than that.
So I 100% agree with you on that. And I opened up my 4 gyms. They were pretty successful. I used investment money to get there and then sold them to an investment company. So understanding investments and understanding franchises. So here's one of the biggest reasons why they can go from 0 to 150 members in 3 months. They do have the systems in place. You don't have to think through it. You don't have to muddle through how you actually gain a lead. But the opening package alone is $125,000, right?
Yep.
That doesn't include the $50,000 franchise fee to get it rolling. Just grand opening. So grand opening day, bare minimum is $25,000 in advertising, the DJ, the guerrilla marketing, all this other stuff, right? You give Remy or I 25 grand to spend on ads, we're going to get you 150 members, right? Now, will they stay long term? Will you be able to retain them? I don't know. What will they be paying? Are they your ideal client? What does that look like? But the total build out, and I could be wrong, and I know I never spent this much on opening up a location, but they're between $315,000 to almost $500,000 in liquid cash to open up an F45, right?
Yeah.
Now, the $60 per week, what I would constitute that, right? It's not mindset coaching from reviews, and I have never taken a class, so I don't know. I wouldn't say what I'm hearing is it's not about the coaching per se. But what they do really, really, really well is they do bring the technology piece in, and then they just
Yes.
have a ton of fun with it, right? It's not complex movements. It's not complex, really anything in terms of coaching. But what they are doing is it's loud, fun music. They're smiling. They've got coaches there. I think once a month on a Saturday, they always bring a DJ in for the DJ day for classes, right? At that point, it's more of a, you could spend $60 in a night going out, but now I'm paying $60 a week to go to my fun place, right? I'm enjoying it. I'm getting a good sweat on. Now the question is what does the retention rate look like when it's that kind of thing? I know something closer to my house, Orange Theory, right? Orange Theory crams a ton of people in. They charge a ton of money every month. But their average client, I know a guy that owns 4 Orange Theory locations. He's like, it's essentially turn and burn because their
Yes.
retention rate is about 3 to 4 months, right? So they try to get them on higher priced agreements, or they've actually started selling like 1 day a week, 2 day a week packages so that people will stay longer. But they're constantly having to bring people in. And I don't know about you, if you don't have $300 to $400,000 to drop on opening up a gym, you can't turn and burn. If your retention rate isn't below 10% at the bare minimum, it's going
Right.
to be really hard to always bring those in. And as a gym owner with 1 to 10 employees, burnout is a real thing. If you've got
Yeah.
to turn and burn that many people, if you've got to do 60 consultations because you got to replace 20 members every month, there's a problem there. And that's where the mindset and everything comes into play.
So you mentioned 150 members, right? They don't really have good marketing. I look at the kind of marketing they do. They don't really have good marketing. Let's say they generate leads for like $20, $20 for a lead. Probably they're only going to convert, let's say 1% of their leads into actual clients, right? So if we want 150 members divided by 10, that would be 10%. Let's assume 10%, which is actually pretty good. We do more like 40%, but let's say they convert 10%, they would need 1,500 leads, right? To have the 150 members if they convert 10% of the leads. And if a lead is at $20, if I do 1,500 leads times 20, that's it. That's what you mentioned. That's 30K. That's assuming 10% conversion, right? And actually, maybe it's lower. Maybe it's lower than 10% conversion rate. So that's it. That's how they do it. And they have systems in place. But it's true that they do not provide mindset coaching. They don't provide any kind of intimacy. And then the churn is like always here, and they always have to advertise, and it's like a hamster wheel. I do not wish that for yourself, to be in that kind of hamster wheel, right? And also you spoke about the programming, Josh. Yeah, I agree with you. Let's say you have a functional training gym, cross-training, CrossFit gym. Don't make it too intimidating. Don't make it too daunting, right? I would recommend that you use a tiered programming, right? Level 1, level 2, level 3. And that level 1 can truly be for anybody, right? For the beginners. And so that your coaches don't have to scale down the word that you write on your whiteboard. You don't want your coaches to scale down. It's like level 1, level 2, level 3. And level 1, maybe it's like just body weights and small weights. There is no barbell here.
And when I say this, I have nothing against F45, Orange Theory Fitness. I mentioned Barry's here as well. It all just depends on as the gym owner, what type of business do you want, right? Do you want to invest in something that's done for you? Obviously, these are successful. How successful are they right now because it's a volume-based business with the pandemic? What does it look like for the future? Who really knows? But then, if that's your thing and that's what you want to do, kind of like your attorney, high five for him, right? He's got 3 of them, and he's probably successful at it. Now, is that something a traditional micro gym owner that kind of bootstrapped it and really put their heart and soul into the gym? Can they repeat that? Probably not. I started out that way personally, and it's kind of, I don't know if this is specifically for myself or you, Remy. This question: 45 OTF berries or volume-based models. 2 Brains is prescription-based model. Which model do you practice? So
yeah, prescription, yeah.
yeah, so I personally tried to do that volume based because that's what I saw. I was like F45 and Orange Theory, all these people, and I was just doing the quick math in my head without having to pay for acquisition cost, right? And the overhead of having a facility that can handle that many people. I didn't put that into consideration, and I was just spinning the hamster wheel, and it was a major burnout until kind of like going to that prescription model, and that higher price point is where you really, as a small gym owner, is almost what you have to do, because the traditional gym, micro gym that I see that does try to do that volume based, and I kind of went through the same thing with personal experience, is they build it, they put their heart and soul into it, they build a community, they build 100 to 150 plus people, and eventually 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, maybe even 10 years down the road, you sell it to the next person that is willing to put their heart and soul into it, because you realize that it may not be as profitable as you hoped when you get to that point of, because then you realize, hey, I go from 50 members to 100 members. Well, you need more coaches, you need more equipment, you need more space, right?
Right.
And then you're like, all right, I'll bring all those people in, so I bring in another 150 members, and the same thing happens. So going to more of that mindset, prescription based, the kind of the words that you're using there, but custom, I don't want to say custom programming, because you don't have to go custom programming, right? Unless you're a personal trainer. And when
Not
you're
really for the programming, but for the rest, yes, for the mindset, of course.
right,
Mhm.
you can have those consultations and work on mindset outside of it. Unless you're doing personal training, like I know some personal trainers that are, I talked to one that signed up with FitHive, and his average client value was $1,500 a month. And some of the questions that he was asking me about what FitHive can do, it didn't make any sense to me. And he's like, I need to change the programming on the fly. If this person walks in and says, I don't feel like doing this today, I want to change it. And I was like, why would you ever change it for a coach? I was like, dude, this guy is paying me $1,500 a month. He is coming here to talk to me about his day, get the stress relieved off of his chest. And if his legs don't feel right, I'm going to help him, but I'm not going to make him do something like this. And that just depends on the type of model that you want and the type of business that you want to really build.
Right. Yeah, the consultation I was talking about earlier, it's like 50 minutes of diagnosis, right? And then at the end, you just prescribe the best program for them to reach their health and fitness and life goals, right? And here, the business model that I'm talking about is having 150 to 100 members, paying you 200, 300, 400, 500 a month, right? And with that, well, you can easily have 30, 40, 50, 60K a month in revenue, and you can actually keep 50% profit on that, right? Because you don't need a huge facility. You don't need a lot of coaches, right? Because actually you're going to sell the efficiency. You're not going to sell the unlimited membership. You're going to say you only need to come 3 times a week to get the results, right? You sell the efficiency. So you don't need too many coaches. You don't need a big facility. And that's how you can actually keep a great profit margin. So let's say you are at 40K. Well, that's 20K profit. You can take a pretty good salary here. And you know what? My gym owner clients, they work between 5 and 15 hours a week after working on the system. Anthony, you spoke with him, Josh, Mark, they are between 5 and 15 hours a week because they have the systems, they have the client acquisition, they don't need too many members, right? And actually, when they do those 5 to 15 hours a week, sure, it's to manage the team, manage the systems, but it's also because they love coaching and they want to coach 3, 4, 5 hours a week, right? Yep. So actually, it's like 5 to 15 hours of work, but actually it's also 5 hours of hobby. Right?
Love it. Cindy, looking at it, I think you kind of mentioned it. My recommendation, she's asking about price as an add-on. Look at what you ultimately would charge somebody coming in the door, and then just add that to whatever fee they're currently paying. So if you got members paying $100 a month and a new person walking in the door is $300 a month for everything, well, then it's $200 add-on.
Yeah.
You're right. It's really easy math there. So
And I would say also, if we had a question about the confidence, the certainty on charging those kind of prices, I would say write a list of 50 reasons why your $250 membership is actually worth $500. Why your $250 membership is actually worth $500. Try to find 50 reasons. After 50 reasons, you're going to be freaking convinced that you're worth $500, and actually you're only going to charge half for that. And if you cannot find 50 reasons, well, it means that you actually need to work on your delivery, right? Because it means that you're an imposter, kind of, if like you can't find 50 reasons. But if you find 50 reasons, then you can definitely charge those kind of price.
Absolutely. Can you speak more on details about those nurture systems put into place for accountability and mindset coaching for when you aren't able to do face-to-face coaching on the in-between time for both large and small virtual client base? So this sounds like it's coming from more the online coaching realm. What do you recommend for those systems to do accountability and mindset?
Yeah, so if it's not possible at a gym, you can do it on Zoom, of course, or you can just you can use an app like Voxer where you send audio messages and you just coach them via audio messages. You can use WhatsApp also to do that, right? Or Messenger, not really, because you're limited to a minute for your audio messages. I would recommend apps like Voxer or WhatsApp. But yeah, provide that intimacy, provide that care. Provide that that mindset coaching that they need. It's the one thing that is going to fix your success rate.
Yeah, and it kind of come into the systems, right? So, with FitHive, you can do texting, you can do email nurturing, you can do advanced accountability and forms and everything else. And that's all amazing to get them to the point of getting in front of somebody, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
You've got to. A text and an email is easily ignored, right? But a text or an email saying, hey, I haven't seen you for a while. I'm kind of worried. Is everything okay at home? Let's get on a call so I can see you face to face. And that could be, like you said there, any one of those apps. It could be Facebook Messenger face to face, right? Because there's video calls. My personal opinion on it is seeing somebody, if you can't physically be in front of them, seeing them eye to eye and having them actually tell you what's going on is right. So much more intimate than just a phone call or a text message, right? It's so easy to send a text message because you can text and forget about it. But sending that text, talk.
The best thing is face-to-face for sure. Then the next best thing is like a Zoom call with the video on, where you can also see them, because actually you can get many clues from just their body language, right? So videos on, and try to help them navigate their what's going on in their life. Yeah.
Again, we are here to help gym owners in any way, shape, or form survive and thrive, especially after 2020 and going into 2021.
Absolutely.
Awesome, guys.
Thank you so much, Josh, for hosting this event.
No, thank you for
inviting me.
Awesome. Guys, we'll get that sent out as soon as possible. And I know there's going to be a lot of great content coming from Remy, and we'll get that shot out to you as well. Have a great night, guys.
All right, man. Bye-bye, guys.
Thanks, Remy.